Head.
Thank you. I enjoy it, and I will say sometimes I tweak them, and I should be doing other things. Um, thank you so much. My name is Courtney Ann Ramos Fincher, and I am President and CEO of ARK Ramos. I make sure everyone can see my screen. It's not super important to see me while I'm talking, but please do make sure you can see my screen because we'll use it throughout the presentation. We are a preferred vendor, or I guess Sign World is a preferred customer of ARK Ramos, and we are a custom wholesale manufacturer. So we do sell only to the trade industry, and our mission is to build a business that preserves through production. And what that means for you and for your clients is that we recognize always throughout every step of the production process that it's not our reputation that's typically tied to this because our logo's not on it. It's a lot of times, corporate logos, architectural logos or firms, contractors. It's other people's names, other people's logos, other people's stories. But throughout the process, we always keep that top in mind, and quality is always, always our guiding principle. Throughout the production process, if we have to recast, if we have to redo, we will. We'll communicate that with you. But we're always going towards the highest quality. That's always what we're going to keep in mind, and that is our goal. So we manufacture two things, plaques and dimensional letters, and we do those in a couple different manufacturing methods, and that's what I'm going to go over with you as well, because I really feel like just, a little bit of a knowledge and high level of what we're working with is going to help you. And then also we're available for consulting. I mean, that is what we're here for, is to answer questions. You can refer to our website, which has a specifier section. It's not behind a sign in or anything, but we have PDFs of installation guides and things like that. But we also welcome phone calls and emails too to help you, especially if you have any mounting questions. That's where we really like to have a line of communication is a lot of times that's where some things get a little bit hinky. So we like to be informed of the mounting situation and any challenges so we can help, fix those ahead of time. So plaques are produced in two different ways, cast and etched, with the typical examples shown here. Now, these are just typical. We can completely opposite, positive or negative flip these designs. So a cast plaque can have recessed text and an etched plaque can have raised text. Just these two examples are typical examples of each. So cast plaques are cast here in Oklahoma City. The process is sand casting. So you may be familiar with other types of casting like lost wax or resin casting. Ours is sand casting. That is not comparable to precision tooled. So while those two products are used interchangeably, sometimes out in the field, when you do put them next to each other, they do have significant differences and they don't match right away. So our process is casting, just keep that in mind. And that means all of the textures and borders are integral to the casting. Whenever you have a precision tool plaque, in order to hide those tooling marks, you have to spray on a texture. That's an applied finish that can and will fail later. Ours will not because it is all integral to the casting. We are able to cast as small as 1 by 1 inch to over 8 foot. That's just a one piece casting. We can go much larger in multiple pieces. We are casting in bronze, brass, aluminum, and white bronze, and then a full finishing department that can apply pretty much any finish that is specified. So here is a peek into our foundry. This is the casting process for plaques. So plaques do start off as a wood and polymer pattern. So that's what you're seeing on the top left is a wood and polymer pattern. It is dusted with a dust called silver dust. That's why it's gray. We press it into the sand mold there at the top and pull it out. So we stamp it in and it leaves those voids in the sand. There along the bottom are some bronze ingots. We melt those in the crucibles. Those are made out of ceramic and we pour them into the closed molds. And then on the bottom left, you have some raw military castings in bronze. Here are some projects we've done in the past. All of these came about because they're just a little bit outside of standard, and that is what we love to do. So we love, wayfinding, corporate dedication. We love things like that, but we also like when we can do some different design elements to it, and that really depends on you if you're going to help guide that design or the architect or the specifier there. But we can do some things beyond just a typical 18 by 24, 24 by 36 dedication plaque or room signage. We can really help you add to your product line and add plaques and logos in a way that they can be installed in places that maybe are not always typical, but is a good upsell. So I'm just going to kind of point on each of these. Top left was an example, or is an example of us taking the texture in a background and it being a part of the design. We'd never done that before. It was somewhere an architect had asked us, can this be done? That's what we love. Can you do this? And so we could. We figured it out. We've seen it replicated really with logos and seals. So I saw like a really cool mascot, like a tiger mascot was done in the background of one of the plaques. So it's just a neat way to interpret logos and different details without it just being, etched or just kind of popped onto the bottom of the plaque. Top middle maps do a lot of those. Our ADA stipple or our stipple texture is ADA approved. So that's an example there where this is still an ADA approved Braille map with texture, and then you can see different types of lines and designs that you can feel. Top right is an example of sculpted elements. So anytime we need sculpted details, portraits, additional detail, we do that in clay onto the pattern and then cast it in metal. Jules Steinhardt Cove is an example of a post-mounted plaque. So about a year and a half ago, major manufacturer of the roadside plaques, those historical roadside plaques that you see, did close down. So we had some good conversations with them, and we're now able to do double-sided post-mounted plaques. So we're now the manufacturer for those. So if you have any of those projects, they're really good to have because you know what? They do several of them. So if you can get a program with historical plaques, we are the ones to help you with that. Homewood Police is an example of a floor plaque. So we do a lot of plaques for Disney, Universal, different things that can go in the ground. So that just needs a little bit of communication because a cast plaque has some drafting on it. So again, we just need to know where things are going. Obviously, y'all are going to do a good job of telling us that. So we can do some things to the pattern ahead of time. The links is an example of a custom patina. So if you've ever got any high-end finishes or things like that, we can match those and apply those to our plaques. And then Northport Fire Rescue is an example of a full color paint gradient. So many times these products are being specified in metal, so they last forever. Doesn't make a lot of sense then to apply a vinyl or print on top of that. So we are using Matthews paint. That's formulated for the exterior elements as well as the sign industry. And if we need custom matches, we utilize automotive paint. That's actually what we used a long time ago, before Matthews was even a company and formulated paint for the sign industry. Second method of manufacture is etching. We do that in many more metals. You can see those listed here, and the process is laser etching. We used to use chemical etching, but about a year ago we switched and bought a laser and used that. So it's really good for awards, room signage. Again, we're only working in metals, and it's really good when you have a lot of copy in a small spot or a small space because there really isn't a text size minimum. It just becomes too small for the human eye to read. These are our standard plaque mountings and finishes. I just have them there because it's just a jumping off point. We always like to have a conversation on your specific situation, and we can, formulate or manufacture a mounting that works for you. Does anyone have any questions about plaques or before I move on to letters, or did we want to wait for questions at the end?
You can do questions now. Anyone have any questions?
Okay.
I have a quick question. Do you do etching on acrylic?
No, metal only.
Metal only. Okay, thanks.
I'm sure it has to do with the size and all that, but what's a kind of typical turnaround for more of your kind of memorial plaques or some of those double-sided, that kind of stuff?
Ooh, a double-sided would be closer to 6 weeks. Usually because of the painting. It's
Yeah.
really, it's not even the casting. It's having, 24, 48 hours between each layer.
Sure. Yeah.
But so a typical cast plaque is about 20 business days, though we can rush one in 10 business days. We can actually do it for less than that too if you've ever got an emergency, but don't. Oh, this is now published.
Secret
Actually, this
safe.
is no longer a secret.
Oh, darn it.
But yeah, plaques about 20 business days. And then we're going to talk about letters in a second, but it's a much longer lead time. But yeah, we try to stick about 20 business days for plaques. We can accommodate most things if we just know ahead of time, about a grand opening and things like that. Thank you. All right. The second product that we have is our dimensional letters, and we manufacture those in 3 different ways: fabricated, cast, and cut. And here is a nice comparison of each of those manufacturing methods. So A is fabricated. Technically, what we're producing is fabricated reverse channel. So we're working only in metal. So your face is metal and your returns are metal, and then it's open in the back. R is an example of a cast letter, and O is an example of a cut letter. And I also show you these side by side because a lot of times in the building process or even pre-build, it does become necessary to maybe change the method of manufacture, talk about the method of manufacture. We know that it needs to end up matching what the design is. So that's why I show you this is really from the face. You don't see, much different from the edges. You start to see a thickness difference, but not till you flip them over do you really see how they're constructed and how they differ. So you'll know that, we'll know that, but the end user typically doesn't know or appreciate things like this. So cast letters are cast here in Oklahoma City, same foundry, so same metals available: bronze, brass, aluminum, and actually we do cast in white bronze. I meant to delete that from the other slide, but if you ever get that request, we have a kind of a half a pallet, and that's why I offer it. But our cast letters are really economical for your government and educational products, most specified for that. Most economical when you're choosing a standard font. So we have those in our catalog. But in addition to that, we're making custom patterns all the time. That's how we add to our font library. So we've added more modern fonts like Arial and Century Gothic, and we'll continue to. So just if you don't see that font listed in our cast catalog, we can cast it, and please don't just not ask for a quote on it because we'll help you out. This is a casting process for letters. We do probably 80% of our letters in aluminum. So that's what you're seeing here is a bunch of molten aluminum being poured. So top left, they start out as wooden patterns. That looks like maybe a Clarendon medium font. Same as the plaques in the top middle, we've pressed those molds into the sand. Those molds are still in there, but we'll pull them out before we then pour in the middle along the bottom. And then bottom left are some raw aluminum castings. Here are some projects we've done in the past. All of these are standard fonts except for Waterford. That's an example of a custom font. And then all kind of basic pin mounting. We can also do bar mounting like services in school are examples of those. Second method of manufacture for letters and dimensional logos is cutting. And we're doing that out of a different mix of metals. So bronze, brass, aluminum, and stainless steel, 4 different thicknesses. Typically, we're using our workhorse Gerber Saber, but we do have a CNC as well for smaller letter forms and for stainless steel because it's harder to cut. It is a really good option for custom fonts for when your customer doesn't care about a thick profile since it's, half-inch thick max, but really good for logos because we're just doing a cut path. And the sheet size on this is 5 foot by 12 foot. So that's what we can fit. And then obviously we can talk about dividing things into smaller shapes or smaller pieces if you need them. And the final method of manufacture is fabricating. Fewer metals on this one: stainless steel, brass, and aluminum. We can populate with LEDs or we can send them empty. But I mean, the most popular reason that people are ordering fabricated reverse channel is for it to have a halo illumination. All of ours are constructed, all of the manufacturing and the construction details are done internally. So what you're seeing in the back of this queue is all of that spot welding is done internally. There's no rivets or set screws from the outside. Only when we do populate with LEDs, like at the back of these sky letters, that is when we dip our toes and do acrylic, and we'll back them with acrylic to protect them from nesting in the elements. Then you will have a few set screws. But our fabricated reverse channel letters will not have any construction from the outside. So a set screw is only going to hold on acrylic. It's not meant to hold on the returns. Here are examples of those. So like I said, a lot of LED lighting, a lot of neighborhood entrances, a lot of hospitals is what we do fabricated letters for, in schools, and logos as well. These are dimensional letter finishes. I just show you these because whenever anodizing is specified, that's that bottom row. It's usually pretty important that it be a nice matte brushed finish So that's what we're going to give you is a true anodized finish compared to the red R, which is an example of a baked enamel. Don't know if you've ever, come upon this in some of your projects, but there are architects and designers and owners that are really particular about the finish. So whatever finish is specified is the finish we are going to apply. If it's anodized, it's going to be a true anodized. We don't fake it. These are dimensional letter mountings, just like plaques, jumping off point. So just to start a conversation, they've served us well, but always open to doing something custom for you. Before I move on to how we can work together, does anyone have any specific questions or comments about dimensional letters?
I had a question about Halo Lit. What's your turnaround time for that right now?
Halo letters are probably about 6 weeks. So all letters in general, all of our dimensional letters are going to stay on a 6 week minimum lead time. So we are best at plaques. It is our bread and butter. But so dimensional letters do take a lot more. Each casting, you kind of saw that we can get several plaques in one mold. Whenever you're doing letters, you can only get a few letters in one mold. So if it's a long word, it takes a minute. So 6 weeks minimum for most things. Um, the LED lighting doesn't add a whole lot of time, to be honest. So really 6 weeks is what we're most comfortable at. It seems like trying to go faster doesn't work, and 6 weeks is a good turnaround for us.
And do you have different color options for the Halo Lit for the LEDs?
Yes, yeah, we can do RGB, we can do different colors, temperature colors, or the white. I think this one,
Yeah.
even like Oakdale Meadows and Concierge are two different colors. And then also, something that it was a customer had us do was we can put colored acrylic on the back of them, and that changes the light color. So if you've ever got a customer who is a little bit price sensitive, also RGB LEDs, are kind of finicky. You'll get all of a sudden one letter will be, green when everything else was blue, or the temperature will be weird. So we can do a colored acrylic on the back, and that's how you can control the color of the halo illumination if your customer is ever good with just one color.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank
Courtney,
you.
for the dimensional letters that you showed with the brush finishing on the anodize, can we specify kind of the angle? I know those are like vertical, right?
Yes. Yeah, vertical is most common, but we do get horizontal orders for horizontal semi-regularly, really.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last section of this presentation is how we can work together. So we are a partner for you. This is how we make our money, is that you sell our products. You are a little bit knowledgeable of your products or our products, but we don't depend on that. We want to be an asset to you. We want you to pass on the questions. You don't need to be an expert. We've been doing this for a really long time. So my grandpa and three gentlemen started in 1946. That is what ARK Ramos stands for. A lot of people, that's their first question is, what does ARK mean? It is the initials of Adams, Ramos, and Courant. Served us well in the days of the yellow pages, because you know what? You go on there and that's why you see A1 electrical and AAA plumbing, and still serves us well. I mean, hopefully Sign World will alphabetize the people in the trade show program, but we also love a spec. We are specified quite a bit. I spend a lot of my time personally presenting lunch and learns to architects, so we will be specified in projects. And then those are the projects that then y'all bid on and we make, and you mark up, and that's how we do it. So I spend a lot of time talking to them, making sure that they're happy with us and that we have a good line of communication with them. But we also get specified at the top as well because of alphabetization. I have been I have been in charge for about 15 years. My brother and I took over 15 years ago. So we have been doing this for a really long time, but we also have a lot of employees here who have been doing this for a really long time. So used to have an employee that started here in 1983, and I was born in 1984. So I've known this man for my entire life. We've also got another employee that started here in 1977. So I have got some experts on my team, and we have really probably face whatever, situation, dedication, mounting, whatever you've got, design. I think we have probably faced it and we can help walk through that with you together. But sign rule specific benefits is you do all receive an additional 5% discount off of list. So any other distributor that emails us gets 40% off. Y'all get 45% off. We also have a way to prioritize in production. So I have about five categorizations in production, and sign world is at the top of those. And then just for your information, our average order is 2,100. So, and that's what you're paying us. So you know what I mean? You're marking that up. These products are kind of high end for one off. I mean, a 24 by 36 bronze plaque is about $3,000 to us. And what you're doing is none of the layout because I have my full art department. You're really just, sending me a Word doc and saying, I need this laid out. How much is it? And then you're marking that up and facilitating the install if you need to. If not, we also ship blind. A lot of times, facilities can handle the mounting of these things, especially plaques. You know what I mean? You're whoever you're selling to, universities, schools, their maintenance can usually handle install of this. So we blind ship and direct ship all the time. All of our sales staff are trained on all of our products, so we don't have like plaque specialists or letter specialists. We just can answer all the questions. If you get with a salesperson, like, start requesting quotes, you'll stay with that salesperson. So you won't, always be wondering who you're going to talk to. Our CRM system helps identify who that salesperson is whenever you call. We get quotes out mostly the same day. We continue to do that. Really, 48 hours would be the longest it ever takes to get a quote, but most of the time, same day, and they're going to include shipping unless otherwise noted. We give you full product support and warranty. It's a limited lifetime warranty. So as long as nothing is like done to the product, all they have to do is send it back and we'll refinish it for free. We do a lot of custom and one-off. I mean, the majority of our stuff is one-off. So that's never a hesitation for us. We don't have anything called a setup charge because we're just used to making one of the things. Everything is in-house, so customer service is answering the phone, Missy right here, and then I have a full art department too that is doing layouts. We can do the layouts for you too. We can white label them so you can put your logo on them. Some people keep our logos on them because we're not going to accept the order anyway. And then secondly, it kind of just helps us too because sometimes we have to do some manipulations to the artwork for production process purposes. So sometimes it's really good to go ahead and have us do the proofing process because then it's right from the beginning instead of you kind of guessing, text kerning, things like that. And then I do have a really great CRM and production system. So if anyone is into systems, I am into systems. And I am using HubSpot. And I've used it in different ways in the past, but now we are fully on HubSpot for production tracking. So as the order moves throughout production, you get an email that tells you where it is without having to wonder, but also feel free to reach out. It's just outgoing information. So we don't have anything that you need to log into and look at. We're just letting you know throughout the production process what's going on. And then just as a business, I want you to know that we use technology intentionally. This is an old craft, yes, but it doesn't mean that there aren't ways that we can improve things or use different technologies. So instance, coming from chemical etching, switching to laser etching, we can cast from 3D prints. We do that quite often. We just need to talk about it. Drafts and things like that. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, on the art department, I forgot to mention that our average proof turnaround is 3 days, 3 business days. And then I do have this presentation available for you, but I think Sheree will send this out, but you can scan that and access it at any time as a PDF. You're free to request a quote on our website, but you can also just email us. And then please do give us a follow on social media. All of the photos and videos are from that. I spend a lot of time thinking about what you need to see. What you need to see, how it's made, what's available, what's out there. So just give us a like, and maybe when you're scrolling, you might see some cool things. Does anyone have any questions or comments for me?
Yeah, sorry I jumped on a little bit late, but I'm excited. I'm working with a law firm that's looking for some cast metal, specifically bronze letters. So this is very timely. Thank you.
Awesome. Yep. Works for us. Oh, I did forget to kind of show you our team. Just if you ever call in, it's nice to have a face with a name. Myself, my brother, you see Rocky Fincher. Y'all have probably talked to him. That's my husband. So we are a true family business. My dog comes to work every day too. Lacey is our newest salesperson. So she's available for questions and pricing. And then Missy is who answers the phone and provides sales support and any type of ship dates or updates that you need. And yeah, I guess I don't have anything else other than I will see y'all in 2 weeks.
Right. Hey, thank you very much.
Everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah, look forward to meeting you.
You're welcome. Yes.